Hey everyone, today I'm making the ultimate butternut squash soup that's perfect for those chilly days. With just a few easy ingredients and a few steps, we're gonna make one of my favorite soups of the season. You're gonna love how quick and hearty it is, and you're gonna wanna make it often. So let's get started. I'm gonna be adding lots of veggies and some leftover rotisserie chicken into the soup. It's gonna give it some great flavor. So first I'm gonna chop up some veggies. I've got a medium-sized onion that I'm just gonna dice up into large cubes, like that. All right, just gonna push that aside. Next is a potato. You can leave the skin on. I'm just gonna peel it and do the same thing. Large cubes is fine because we're just gonna mash everything up afterwards anyway. And this is, again, small to medium potato. Depending how much soup you're making, you can use a larger one. I'm using an Idaho potato, but you can also use a Yukon Gold. Yukon Gold potatoes tend to be a little bit more creamy, so that could work out really well. I'm gonna cut that into large cubes. Okay, good. Push that aside. Okay, get the skins to the barrel. So I've got 3 stalks of celery that have been cleaned and cut. I cut the edges off, just the rough part. Doesn't matter, big, small, it's all gonna get ground up anyway. Next, we've got 2 carrots, which I've already peeled, cleaned, cut off the stems on it and the tips. Okay, I'm just gonna cut that in half here to make it a little bit easier. Now you can cut them in half long ways, but I'm just gonna go with it this way here. As long as they're roughly the same size as the potatoes, because it's gonna take a little bit longer to cook too. I find when I peel the carrots, it helps give it a flat spot so they don't roll on you. So that's another tip for peeling. You don't have to peel them, just wash them really good, get the dirt off. For the garlic, I'm going to be using probably about 3 or 4 of these. If you have larger cloves, obviously use fewer, or to taste anyway. So I just put that aside. And I like to just give it a little pinch and a twist. It helps take the skin right off. Okay, try to do another one. Pinch and twist, like that, comes right off. You don't have to fight with it. Okay, so now I'm going to tackle the butternut squash. One of the main reasons people don't use butternut squash is either they don't know what the flavor's like, and the flavor's kind of sweet, a little bit of a cantaloupe smell. It's got a scent of like cantaloupe citrusy. When you look at the meat of it, it also looks like a cantaloupe meat. And when you're peeling and cutting it, you're going to swear that you're cutting through a cantaloupe, because that's kind of the texture it has. Now, you can use a knife and just slice it down. I like using a very sharp peeler, where you just use the thumb and just dig your thumb into it and just peel back. Just like that. So I'm going to keep peeling. Take all that skin off. And you can see the color, like cantaloupe. It actually starting to smell kind of citrusy, like almost like a red grapefruit. And this way here, you're not trying to hurt yourself with a knife too. Trying to peel it with a knife. I just find that this way here is a little easier, a little safer, especially for us accident-prone people that end up with Band-Aids on their hands too often. So the ends here, I'm just going to trim them off to give us a nice flat spot in order to work with. So I'm just going to clean up as much as I can. Now, when you have these little nuggets here, just use your peeler. Just peel off a couple of layers here and it cleans it right up perfectly. So you're not wasting a whole lot of the butternut squash meat. All right, so now I have my butternut squash peeled. Let's cut it. And the best way I find that you can do it, you give it a flat spot on the end, or just cut it right in the middle here. Now you can take that top there, just give that a little trim. Same thing with this part here. And you can cut it this way, you can cut it this way, whichever way sits flatter. So let's go down that way there. So you get the seeds here. So now it sits nice and flat. Press that down. Same thing here. Press that down. Okay. So we're going to take a spoon and just want to clean out all those seeds and some of that membrane that's in there. Get as much of it as you can, like that. Just give it a scrape. Okay. Okay, and then you have this. Now you can save the seeds if you want. I find that they're a little bitter if you're going to toast them or anything, but some people like them. You can do it. I don't prefer them. If you do use the seeds and you have a good recipe for it, why don't you comment down below and let me know how you cook the seeds, if you toast them, if you roast them somehow, if you peel them. Now with the butternut squash, I'm going to do the same things I did with like the potato. You want to have maybe 1 or 2 inch cubes, roughly the same size so they kind of cook evenly. And you can roast them like this too. You can cut them round and roast them that way if you like. Getting the butternut squash into a bowl. You get all the vegetables that we already diced into the bowl too. Maybe about a 1/4 cup or so of olive oil, a tablespoon of salt, a tablespoon of garlic. Next is the tablespoon of onion powder. And I'm going to add a tablespoon of sweet paprika. And I'm going to also hit it with some black pepper. And I'm just going to start mixing with my hands here. You can use a spoon, but this is kind of tight in here. I just want to be able to get it all covered and just get it all in here. Yeah, yep. The one that got away. All right. I'm going to add a little bit more of this olive oil in there. Just because it's feeling a little dry, so I want to make sure that there's enough moisture in here. In the meantime, I've got the air fryer preheating at about 400 degrees. Now, if you're making a big batch, you may want to roast it in your oven, 400 degrees, until the potatoes or the butternut squash get softened. You can just fill it with a fork, make sure it goes all the way in. You want it as soft as possible. Sometimes you may want to overcook it just to get it really, really soft. Get the air fryer here, and that's pretty warm here. So I'm just going to get the vegetables into the air fryer. You can hear the sizzle. I'm going to leave a little opening in the middle so the air can circulate in the air fryer. Get that in here. We're going to put that in the air fryer. We're going to air fry. You can roast it, you can toast it, bake it. It's kind of the same thing. We just want to get the roasting done here to about 400 degrees. So we get nice charring on the tops. And that's going to be for about 20 minutes, and we'll check it. While all the veggies and the butternut squash are all getting nice and toasted in there, I'm going to render out some bacon. But before I do that, I'm going to dice it up just to make it easier to render out. I've got about 4 thick slices of just a regular smoked bacon. Just going to cut small pieces, maybe a 1/2 inch to 1 inch. Doesn't have to be perfect. They're going to render out and shrink down anyway. I've got a Dutch oven here. It's a cast iron Dutch oven. As soon as it gets up to temperature, I'm going to get the bacon in there just to render out the fat. It should be pretty hot now. And you can hear that sizzle. So the bacon now has been rendering out for about 15 minutes or so, and it's starting to get nice and crispy, so I'm going to start pulling these out and get them into a bowl. And we're going to put them aside until the rest of the soup is done. Okay, now the air fryer stopped. Let's take a look. See, you get nice color here, nice crispiness. I want to make sure that it's soft enough. You can see how it's falling apart. So the potatoes are a little toasty on the edge, but that's okay. I want to make sure that the carrots are soft enough. I'm just going to transfer these into a bowl, let them cool a little bit before I grind them up. I'm going to get all these juices in here too. It's all good stuff. It's all good stuff. I'm going to let this sit off to the side until it gets cool, and then we'll blend it up. So let's make some easy breadsticks using just a baguette and some seasoning. I'm just going to take the back end off here, like that. I'm going to cut it into basically planks is what I'm looking for, maybe a 1/2 inch or even 1 inch. And then I'm just going to cut strips, maybe just half. I mean, I like them a little bit bigger. I've got a freezer bag here, or a Ziploc bag. Just going to get these in here just to be easier to mix. Now you can dip them if you like. So I'm just going to do a real quick method here. Some oregano in here, maybe about a teaspoon or so. Not too much, it may overpower it, so just enough to get a little bit of flavor in there. Also some garlic powder and a little bit of onion powder. Garlic powder, onion powder go good together anyway. All right, and I'm just gonna give that a little toss here just to kind of coat everything before I get the butter in on there. So I want all these little crevices to get filled in with some of this, and then the butter hits it, kind of sticks to it. Okay. So I'm just gonna get the butter in there. This is just a couple of tablespoons of melted butter. Put it in the microwave for a little bit. So yeah, get some of that seasoning working. Let the bread kind of soak it up. Now I'm just going to get the cheese all over it here. Give it a nice healthy toss here, just to get everything coated up and get all that cheese working and sticking on the bread. So now I'm going to get these pieces into the preheated air fryer. I preheated about 400 degrees for about 5 or 10 minutes just to get it hot on the inside. So I'm going to pull that out. Just line them all up. It doesn't matter. They're not going to expand or anything. And I've cut them to the size of my air fryer, so it's a little easier. One last thing I'm going to do is hit it with a little bit of olive oil, again, for extra flavor, just over the top, in case we missed anything. So I'm going to get this into the air fryer for about 3 to 5 minutes, depending on your air fryer. Select toast, 350, 5 minutes. We'll let it go. We'll check it in about 3 or 4 minutes. You can see how they came out. I forgot to turn the camera on for this part. I filled my blender about halfway with the butternut squash and vegetables, and added about 1 cup of chicken bone broth. If you don't have bone broth, you can use chicken broth, vegetable broth, or even water will work, although you'll need to add some extra seasoning for flavor. Fill it about halfway here. You got to use all this stuff. This is all good stuff. It's also part of the liquid that we're going to be using for the soup itself. So just a quick pulse. Then pour it into the pot with the leftover bacon oil over low heat and mix it until it's fully combined. Now I'm adding in the remaining 1.5 cups of the chicken bone broth. About a teaspoon of pumpkin spice seasoning. Then I drop in 2 tablespoons of butter. That gives it a beautiful glossy look and also adds in flavor. Finally, for some creaminess, about 2 tablespoons of sour cream. Whisk it all together, put the lid on, and increase the heat to medium. Let it come to a slow boil for about 5 to 10 minutes. While the soup is coming to a boil, I'll get a small skillet on the burner. Add in a tablespoon of butter and some olive oil. When the butter and oil start bubbling, I get the rotisserie chicken in. Cook it just long enough to get a nice sear and a golden crust. This should only take about a couple of minutes. Add in a little bit of salt and pepper and flip the chicken after about a minute. Should have a beautiful golden crust like this. After about another minute, the chicken is ready. Now let's check on our soup. The soup has been cooking for about 10 minutes. Look how silky and creamy it looks. I think we're ready to plate up our soup and chicken. So before I plate up the butternut squash soup, I'm going to cut up some green onions using just the greens. Let's throw a couple of ladles into a bowl here. Look how creamy this is. This is beautiful. A couple of ladles in here, maybe 3 or 4 ladles. So now let's get the chicken that we've been toasting up or roasting in the pan here. Just a nice couple of pieces here. So just right on top there. Just like that. Get some of these green onions that we cut. And some of this bacon. I'm going to put a little bit of this grated cheese on. Nice dollop of sour cream. And just a little swirl of olive oil. All right, that looks awesome. Oh, and it smells fantastic. So I'm going to grab some of the bread also. We need some crusty bread for this. Oh man, this is going to be so good. Oh, it's so good. So let's take a little bit here. Ooh, that's hot. Oh yeah, the bacon gives it something, something good. A healthy, hearty butternut squash soup, one of my favorite soups. Hope you guys give it a shot. Let me know in the comment section below. If you do it a little bit differently, let me know also. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for more recipes. I'll see you next time.